Guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here, and need to address three things. I'm a bit annoyed. I'm angry. Been on the phone to a few people, quite a lot of people actually. As you know, we're getting attacked constantly by the media. Anybody to do with the right wing of politics in Northern Ireland, they're going straight into their backgrounds and they're digging everything up from the past. We know all this is. We know this. You know, we go. We're not stupid. You know, we know what's going on. We know that this is what's ahead. Guys, you guys have been following me for the last year. I've told you this was coming, you know. So everything I say is coming to fruition, and there's going to be a lot worse probably coming. You know what I mean? This is, you know, before I get into it, I just want, as you, I'm not talking to my community because I've already said all this to you, you know. So this is the people who are coming on to find out what's going on. Like I keep saying, this is a very, very, very dangerous time for Northern Ireland. We either get it right or we get it wrong. If we get it wrong, it's unforgivable for our children. Now, the men who are standing up right now, who are the men who have been to prison, right? There's no two ways about it. They know the system, they know the law, and they're ready and prepared to go to prison because they're capable of it. Men like me who have been institutionalized. And this is a problem that we do have because I don't want to be doing this, you know. This is not what I want to be doing. I'm not making any money from this. It is really, really difficult. It is really, really stressful. Okay. People around me know that ever since I've been doing this since I've come back home and started working as a citizen journalist in Northern Ireland and covering what's going on at the demos and at the street patrols. You know, I'm in the limelight. I'm in amongst it all. I'm bringing the content. But I want to make this clear. I do not make any money from this. Okay. I have a buy me a coffee. You can buy one coffee and you get an email and that's it. You know, that's it. You don't need to put any more money in. And that's only if you want an email to get told there's a live. So as you know, I'm in the paper all the time. Was a bank robber. I was brought up in Northern Ireland in the Troubles in the village in the 70s and seen a lot of violence and I've seen a lot of stuff that I haven't spoke about. And there's a lot of things like you know I speak about as much as I can, but we only say so much because we don't want to give the left too much ammunition, and we want to show the mainstream media in the light that they truly are, because the community know who we are. See, the people around me know who I am. They've grew up with me since I was a wee baby. You know, they knew I've lost my mum. They knew I was on the streets. Went through the Kerr. We were all went through the Kerr system together. We all went through Rathgale, Highbank, Crumlin Road, and the Maze. You know, and you know, we all our families know each other's families. You know, I don't have any family apart from my wee girl, but all the extended families around me who class me as part of their family. You know, um, we are all one community in Northern Ireland. They're all broken down into communities, but we all know each other. It's a network because of the troubles and the paramilitaries. Everybody knows everybody, you know. So, but we're going to let the mainstream keep pushing so the people in these communities can see exactly the comparison between who we are and who they say we are. And yes, we do have shady past, but like I say, there's nobody else coming down. There's no angels coming from heaven. There's no men coming out of the church right now to bring the awareness of what's going on in England and in Ireland that quite possibly could happen in Northern Ireland if we don't put a stop to what's going on right this minute. And it's not misinformation. It's not far right. It's not racist. The evidence is there. Nobody want Nolan and all the rest of them do not want to talk about the hundreds of thousands of children who've been raped by Pakistani grooming gangs, and we can only talk about that because it's fact. There's other things that are going on that we can't talk about right now on a scale that is unbelievable. But Nolan won't investigate. You know, ask Nolan to investigate the crimes of foreigners in England compared to how many per ratio. You know, that's the things he should be looking into. What's happened in England? You know, how many sexual offences are being happened by each individual man coming from all these different countries. It's off the scale. It's frightening, and it's being kept quiet. But these journalists can investigate it. They've got the power to bring that information to you. You know, and yes, we are not at that stage yet, but we will be because we have open borders. We have no border at all with Ireland. And you can see by watching No Risk, No Reward on YouTube exactly what Ireland's going through right now. There's many, many citizen journalists out there a lot better than Freedom Dad. I'm just on the ground because I'm able to be on the ground. I'm on the ground in the streets of Belfast and Shankill and Sandy Row, the village, Rathcoole, Bangor, Kilcooly, because I'm able to, because I've been brought up in these communities. These communities know who I am. They know the man. They don't care about the record. They know the man. It's about the man that stands in front of you. It's about the man that grew up as a wee boy. It's the man who stood side by side through the troubles. It's the man who went into prison and kept his mouth shut. It's the man who was dubbed up in the cell in the maze or the crumb. You know, this is who we are. Okay. Now, again, they've attacked a friend of Pinky's and a friend of mine, Mark. Now, Mark was convicted, and this is hard to listen to. Mark was convicted for a stabbing of a 14-year-old when he was 18. And this is going back into the day of the Troubles. Now, I cannot talk too much about this, but let me tell you this for nothing. If there was anything untoward or anything that needed to be dealt with, it would have been dealt with back in the day. Please believe me. No man would get away from stabbing a child, even though they were both children at the time, and there's a lot more to it that I can go into. But all I'm going to say is Mark went to prison and kept his mouth shut. Okay. Now I'm not here to say who's guilty and who's not guilty. Okay. But there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye, and the community know the story. You see, this is the thing. We all know the stories. We all know the stories behind the headlines, but Nolan doesn't. You see, Nolan doesn't. Go on, kid. Um, so yeah, this is attack, and this is why we're just, it doesn't, like, whenever I be listening to Nolan this morning, me and a few mates, we laughed. It was funny to us because we know exactly what happened in that car park. We know that that man who came on the Nolan show lied all the way through there, and Nolan loved it. You know, Nolan loved it. And this is, you got to understand when you listen. I know you don't listen to Nolan, but you know we need to listen to the mainstream media. We learn a lot from what their puppets, the puppeteers, you know, we learn a lot from that by their rhetoric. And so yeah, this is why we sit back, you know, because we are there on the ground. We know what they're doing. They're bringing people onto the Nolan show that has the rhetoric that they want to push for the government. Somebody who will lie for them, because you see they can't lie, right? So they can bring somebody on that lies. You get me? Now we don't do that as citizen journalists. That's one thing you'll never find with us. We always come with facts, okay? And you know, when this guys, when they're going on about our criminal records and oh, we're criminals, and why is nobody doing nothing about it? Because we're doing nothing wrong. This is the problem. The fact that we're better than them, the fact that our communities love us, the fact that nothing is going to stop us going forward, that's their problem. They're up against it. They've come up against a mountain and they don't know how to climb it. So this is what they do. They go low, and they're going to go lower, and they're going to go lower. Freedom Dad community, they're going to go low, and be ready for it, because we're ready for it. Because unless you're actually there and you see what's happening, and then you hear what they say is happening, it is laughable. It is funny. For us, it's funny because it's that ridiculous. It's that far out there, you know. He said he could see right into into the eyes of the past. He must have been right around the car. You know what I mean? He must have been right there, because you know what the windies are like in cars. I can't even get a picture of anybody in a car because of the way the cars are with the reflections and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So everybody knows the score. I've seen the car. It's all lies about that particular thing, but that suited the narrative. But then he gets somebody else on who suited the narrative as well, until he told him about a Muslim man that was hiding in bushes in a park that scared this man's child that was on the radio show. And you know, the story that came out, you know, it was quite frightening. He says, "Who were you praying to, Jesus?" And the Muslim guy went off and said, "I'm here, I live here," and whatever. You know what I mean? And this is what we're trying to explain to you: is when these men come over here, when there's enough of them, that's that man experienced. That's what they'll all be like. Go to Leicester, go to Luton, go to Rotherham, go to Rochdale, go and see for yourselves. Don't listen to Freedom Dad. Go and have a look for yourselves. Go and experience diversity. Go and experience, you know. Um, with that knowledge, we don't want it here. That's our stance. We want to end mass immigration. We want a complete cessation of all immigration until we can take stock of what we've got and who we've got. We want to bring our nurses back from Australia who are wanting to come back. They're wanting a reason to come back. So we need to pay them more money. We need to start getting our own people jobs, paying them the right amount of money for the jobs instead of bringing foreign labour in for cheaper labour. It doesn't make any sense. It's all obvious what's going on. We're being replaced, and the mainstream media are doing everything to shut us down, to stop us telling you this. Okay, now that's it in a nutshell. You know, this is what you're seeing in real life on Freedom Dad's channel. You're seeing everything. You're seeing me. You've been my journey. You know my story. You know everything I've went through, and you're going to hear more of my story. And you know, like I say, it's a roller coaster. My life has been a roller coaster, and I just trust the news. They always trust in me. Always remember, I've never hurt anybody that's good, never in my life, and it's as simple as that. And you know, I'll take that to agree with me. But like I say, I've got a platform. I've got friends ready on platforms to speak about anything that they come at me with, because, like I say, we're ready for everything. We're clever prods. We know what's coming, and we've known this for a long time. But it's materialising now. We've explained what was going to happen, and now it's materialising. The racism, the far right, getting people on, telling lies, giving a different narrative. You know what I mean? Bringing the records out. Oh, they're all bad men. You know, this is Northern Ireland. There's a lot of bad men in Northern Ireland. So, say if we tell all our bad men in Northern Ireland who are still here, who have survived the conflict, that are still here, holding their heads up high, not alcoholics, not drug users, still strong men after everything they've been through, prisons, the maze, leaving their families, maybe in being involved in things because of the conflict that they maybe struggle to sleep at night now with, you know what I mean? But they're still standing up strong. Are you going to tell me that all them men have not to get involved in anything because of their past, and they're not allowed to stand up and fight for their children? Is that what you're telling us, mainstream media and government? You're wanting the police to arrest you're wanting the police to arrest us all because because of what? Because of what we've been through. Because we come from Belfast. We come from a very unique part of the Great Britain, of our Great Britain. We come from a very unique city. We are different men. We got brought up in the Troubles. We are very different men, and we are not perfect, and we have made mistakes. But we have came a long way since the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. A very long way. And we are the men who just happen to be standing up right now and telling you that we are in trouble. We are being replaced. The Union is being replaced. Scotland is going to break away from England just shortly and another independence. Everything's going to go pear-shaped. Ireland are going to lose complete control because the migrants and the foreigners that they're bringing in are going to take control of the vote. And they will vote with Sinn Féin. Okay? And the people of Ireland will be minorities. And if you don't believe me, go to Dublin. Go and speak to the patriots. Go and speak to the people on the streets of Dublin, Limerick, Cork. You don't need to take my word for it. Phone your friends. If you know anybody down there, just go and visit the place. You know what I mean? Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention online. There's patriot sites all over Ireland and the UK telling you exactly what I'm telling you, first-hand accounts, what's happening on the ground where they are. Okay? I'm telling you what's happening on the ground where I am. We're all doing it on all parts of the mainland and the island of Ireland. Okay? We're all doing it. And the government don't like it and they're trying to shut us down. I'm Freedom Dad. God bless every single one of you.